Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this year's State of the City Address. My name is Madison Davis, and I am the President and CEO of the Brisbane Chamber of Commerce. This chamber event, hosted in partnership with the City of Brisbane, serves as an opportunity for citizens and members of the business community and the community at large to gain an understanding of how the city is faring, what we have accomplished in the last year, and what is on the horizon. I'd like to thank South San Francisco Scavenger for their continued support and sponsorship of this event for the last several years. To make this evening a little more interactive, we are encouraging viewers to participate in our Brisbane Trivia Quiz. A link to the quiz is being dropped into the chat on Zoom, and if you're watching on YouTube, then it will be there as well. For those tuning in on channel 27, the link to the survey can be found at the bottom of your screens. Good luck, and those that score 100% will be given a shout out on Friday's City Blast. With that, I am honored to introduce Mayor O'Connell, who has served Brisbane as a city councilwoman for nearly a decade, and for 2 of those years as our mayor. So I'll let Mayor O'Connell take it away.
Thank you, Madison, for all the chamber's work and work with the staff to host this virtual event. Myself and the entire city council and city staff really appreciates the value the chamber brings to our businesses and to the citizens alike. And we would like to thank tonight's sponsors, South San Francisco Scavenger. So thank you for that. Welcome everyone to the Brisbane State of the City event. Tonight we'll be giving a brief overview to the public on where the city finances are and what challenges the city faces moving ahead, and some accomplishments. We're going to start it off with Finance Director Stuart Schillinger, who will be giving his report on the city's budget and finances. So go ahead, Stuart.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the first chart that I have here shows where our money comes from. For fiscal year 2021, which is the year that we're in, our fiscal years run from July 1st through June 30th. For this fiscal year, we are anticipating somewhere around $18 million, which is a little bit less than we would anticipate if it was a non-COVID year. As you can see, our largest revenue source is our property tax. And that is actually, it's our sales tax, followed by our property tax, followed by our business license taxes, and then our transient occupancy tax. Our transient occupancy tax is a little bit less than we would have anticipated in a non-COVID year. As for property taxes, the city receives about 20% of the property tax paid by a house. So all of your property tax that you pay goes to a lot of different governmental agencies, and the city gets about 20% per parcel per house in the city. The transient occupancy room rate is 14%. So for each $100 that a hotel charges, we get $14 for taxes for that. On our business licenses, we have a number of different types of businesses that are in town. Generally, businesses pay based on their gross receipts, and it's graduated. The more that you make in gross receipts, the more that you pay in business license taxes. We also have franchise fees from people like the cable company, from the electric company, from telephone companies. They pay a portion of what they earn in Brisbane into our franchise fees. We also have 2 special taxes that have been passed by the voters. One was a recycling business license tax, which is charged against Recology, and the other one is the liquid storage business license tax, which is on the tank farm out in the Baylands. And as you can see, as I said, our largest revenue source is our sales tax. We get most of our money from construction related businesses or business to business sales. We are doing a little bit better than we anticipated when we created the budget in April and June of this past year. Our sales tax is up about $1 million more than we would have anticipated. At the beginning of COVID, when we were not sure what was going on, we I budgeted $5 million for our sales tax. Normally, if it was a non-COVID year, we would have gotten somewhere between $6.5 to $7 million. At this point in time, based on what we're understanding and what has happened in the last couple of quarters, we anticipate to get just about $6 million in sales tax. So much better than we had anticipated. Part of this reason for this is that we are a larger percentage of the overall county-wide sales tax collections. So normally we are about 3% of the overall county. This last quarter we were 5%, and we anticipate that we'll continue to be in the 5% range. And a large portion of that is because we don't really have much retail to the consumer, whereas other cities have a lot of retail to the consumer, such as malls, where people are not shopping. We've become a little bit bigger of the overall county sales tax. Our property tax is up about $400,000 from what we anticipated. Staff was very conservative when we made our projections for this fiscal year, as we always try to be. We did not anticipate any increases in property tax. Part of the reason for this is we were not sure how COVID was going to impact our property taxes, and also staff and the city council really like to ensure that the revenues are in place before we project and we use the money to make sure that we're able to stay live within our means. So we have received increases in property tax from the new construction on Sierra Point, which has greatly helped us in the property tax area. The third area that we are doing better than anticipated is the business taxes. The public voted on a new business license tax for cannabis-related businesses. At that time, we had one business in town. We were not quite sure what that tax would produce. After they paid their first installment, we anticipate that that business could produce upwards of $350,000 for the fiscal year. So there's a number of revenues that we had not anticipated that we're doing better on. So that's a very good sign for us going forward. Where our money goes, what we spend our money on, as you could imagine, that the largest one is the police at 28%. What's not showing up on this chart is the fire department, which is the green portion, which is 21%. So our public safety, we spend just about 50% of our revenues on public safety from the general fund. This is very normal. A lot of other cities, in fact, would probably have even larger percentages going to their public safety portion. One of the reasons that one of the things that we consider very important in the city is our recreation programs. And as you can see, that's 12% of our overall general fund. And that is probably higher than most other cities spend, because we feel that providing community services and providing opportunities for the community to participate is very important. We have a pool, which not a lot of other cities have. We provide after-school programs, and we do a lot of other work through our parks and recreation programs. Internal services, which is 15%, is what keeps the city going. It's the financial department, it's the human resources department, it's the city attorney, it's all those things that are not able to really provide direct services, but if we weren't there, we wouldn't be able to provide any service to the city. Public works in the general fund is only 6%, and that's because a lot of the other public works that you're used to seeing, which is the water and the sewer, are in a separate fund, which we, as you know, we charge utility bills that we receive on a bi-monthly basis. Currently, we have about 85 full-time employees with the city, and we have about 70 part-time employees. What I've listed here is the major functions of the different groups that I just talked about. For public safety, obviously they provide police, fire. We also provide emergency operations, and we provide code enforcement. For public works, we do water and wastewater, storm drains, streets, building maintenance, park maintenance, and we also have sustainability within our public works department. Community development, they do the building, the planning, and they also take care of affordable housing for us. Administration, as I said before, with the internal function is management, the city attorney, records, meeting management, human resources, and finance. And parks and recreation, this is the one I think a lot of people are very familiar with. We provide childcare, we provide sports programs for children and adults. We provide cultural programs like our All of our special events that we do, concerts in the park, the artist evening of sharing. We do special events, the upcoming Festival of Lights. Unfortunately, we did miss our day in the park this year, but we anticipate having that again next year. And we provide senior services. What we're doing to save money during COVID is we're holding positions open as appropriate. So if there is a position that comes open, we're really making sure that it's a position that we need to provide services directly to the public. If the position doesn't provide services directly to the public, we're more than likely to hold it open so we can save money during this time period. We're also reducing or delaying our non-COVID expenditures, just to make sure that the ones that we do withhold don't impact future decisions that the City Council can make. To give you a sense of what's been going on from a COVID-related expenditure perspective, the City Council recently allocated $100,000 for rental assistance. We're working on creating that program. That will go back to the City Council at their next council meeting to set up the program, and so we can start providing money to people who are impacted by COVID. The council has also allocated $10,000 for nonprofit organization assistance. The City Council recognized that the nonprofits were not able to hold their fundraisers as they normally do. So they set aside $10,000 to help them through that process. And hopefully there may be more money available for that as we go on through the fiscal year to help the nonprofits. The City Council recognizes that the nonprofits are very important in helping our community not only get needed services, but also provide a lot of volunteer organization. One of the other items that we had to do due to COVID is we had to set up multiple childcare sites for ourselves. Over the summer, we had 3 childcare sites. During the school year, we're currently at 2. So this is an additional expense that we don't normally have when we're all in one place. We're also working with nonprofits for senior lunches. We provide senior lunches twice a week. So that's another expense that we don't normally have during non-COVID periods of time. We're also providing necessary equipment for employees to work remotely to ensure the services continue. Right now, our building is open to the public twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to 1, but we are open for service just as we normally are during our working hours, Monday through Friday. Normally, if you make a phone call to the city, the person is probably working remotely and is answering the phone through remote services, and we're able to do all of our work on the computer through remote services. So we've really taken true hold of the idea of working remotely and being able to do things more on a distributed basis. The last thing we did is we had to purchase additional equipment for disinfecting our facilities. In case we do have an outbreak of COVID in one of our facilities, we will need to disinfect it, and we are ready to do that to ensure that services continue. So in summary, we have a strength of our revenues are due to the diversity of our revenues. As I said, we had to get money from a lot of different places, not just a single type of business. Staff is focusing on providing services at the least cost possible while being mindful of COVID-19 restrictions. We're able to continue to ensure all of our long-term liabilities are paid off. We have bonds that we're continuing to pay, and we also have retirement costs that we're needing to make, and we're making all of those. And what's really allowed us this opportunity is that this past council decisions have provided us enough of a reserve that we're able to continue to make our best decisions on a long-term basis. With that, Mayor, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Stuart. That was great information, and I think it really sheds a lot of light on the fiscal overlook and the diversification that we have in our city budget. So thank you. The good news is that Brisbane is planned for times like we see ourselves in now. By being diverse, our revenues, and with the strong leadership of staff and our city council, we put ourselves in a much better position than many cities. We can meet all our obligations and continue to provide for our community in matters of public safety, recreation, and moving ahead on planned projects for our future. We even anticipate being able to put a bit aside this year for future pension and long-term obligations. And Very few cities can say that. We have quite a few things that are going on. The Baylands continues to be a major part of the major project of the city. And we're working really hard to continue to safeguard the city's position on environmental and legal issues, including all aspects of density, cleanup and remediation, and the financial impacts of growth. So the Baylands is going to continue to be a very large project and a large concern for all our citizens and staff. So currently the public comment period is open for the draft feasibility study remedial action plan for parts of the Baylands called OU2, which is the non-residential portion in the Baylands. And that comment period opened on is open until December 18th. And you can go to the city's website for more detailed information on the comment period and how to add comments to the document so that your concerns can be addressed when that action plan is released by the State Water Board. So I really do encourage people to be involved in this. And I know that the city council and staff are working to make sure that this is the best program that we can get on this very difficult site. So the city, as far as the Bayland goes, also provided extensive comments to the California High-Speed Rail draft environmental report earlier this year, as did many of our citizens and other groups. And we're waiting now for those comments to be addressed in any final EIR and planning documents for the high-speed rail project. And we don't know if we're going to end up with a project here or what will ultimately happen, but we want to be ready and address all the concerns that we're able to. So that's something that is another one of our big work plans coming up in the next year or 2 or 20, depending on how high-speed rail is able to weather the challenges they've got. So 2020 has been a year of great challenges, and Brisbane continues to show great strength, fortitude, and creativity while we work through the economic and social hardships that COVID-19 has brought to our city. And with that, I would like to invite Chief Lisa Macias to say a little bit about her department and what's happening with the police department. So go ahead, Chief Macias. Do we have Chief Macias with us?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I apologize for that. I was on mute. Thank you, Madam Mayor. It certainly has been a challenging year for all of us. On behalf of the Brisbane police officers and myself, I would like to thank everyone for their continued support throughout the year. We truly appreciate our residents, our business community, and everyone who frequents our beautiful city to show their support. It is amazing to see how we come together and unite as one community during these very difficult times. That's what makes Brisbane so special. We are a department of diversity that respects all human rights, and we continue to take a progressive approach against racial discrimination and assure enforcement of the law in a fair and equitable manner. We wear our badge with pride and honor and are sworn to protect and serve our community with integrity and respect. We have worked hard through the years to build the positive relationship and trust with our residents and business community. Therefore, it is important to us that we are transparent in the way we do business. We have our current department policies on the city's website at brisbane.ca.org for you to review, and we welcome your questions and comments. We are always actively listening to our residents in order to address the needs of our community and to continue to build upon the mutual trust and respect that we have for each other. I feel truly blessed to have the opportunity to serve this amazing community for the past 30 years. And in closing, I would just like to thank our community and our business community for the continued support that we have received. And we hope 2021 will be a much better year for all of us. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. And yes, we too all hope that 2021 brings some relief to everyone from the stresses that we've been under for this last year. You and your officers are so important to our community, and I just don't know where to go with saying what we'd be doing without a great force like we've got. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I would like to focus on some of our accomplishments now. So while working from home, staff's been able to answer the phones, emails, and provide services to our community and businesses to ensure that there was as little impact in services as possible. And they're going to continue to explore telecommute options for the future and other ways we can provide services in a safe manner. Police, fire, and public works have continued to work in in-person operations, and construction and city projects, including water main replacement and the Brisbane Library, continued as soon as it was safe to do so. So we're really happy that we were able to continue on our water main projects in the library. We're able to dedicate the new library last month, and the library operations will soon be starting in a great new building with gathering places, public art, maker spaces, outdoor areas, and quiet reading rooms. We hope to be able to invite you all to see the library in action very soon. It's been a long project, and we appreciate the work that all the stakeholders have put into this beautiful building. Brisbane, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Brisbane has come together in a meaningful way as soon as we were hit with this. A response team called Brisbane Community Response Coalition, also called BCRC, made up of Lion members, Village Helping Hands, the Chamber, and the city, joined forces to assist those most vulnerable with shopping, prescription pickups, rides to the doctors, and so many more things that we all needed when this first struck, and we had no way of knowing how long it would be and what it would mean, and people were very fearful. So I really want to thank everyone who was involved in that early community response coalition for making it work and to coming together. So Brisbane itself held 7 virtual town hall meetings in the spring and early summer. They were participated with the city council members, and a variety of people stepped forward to hold those. And they brought useful information from the county health department, a local doctor, to help us understand the pandemic, how it spread, and what we can all do to stay safe. We also brought in nonprofits to raise awareness of the programs that were available to help with safety net services, including food, utility bills, and other assistance, including a program by Jefferson Union High School District for weekly food distributions. All these meetings remain on our website for you to review and to come back to see if there's some services that maybe can still help. Our senior lunches at the Sunrise Room were able to continue and expand during the crisis. With the help of the Lions Club, Park and Rec, and Samaritan House, our seniors can pick up 2 hot lunches a week. Park and Recreation staff have continued to reach out to our seniors with regular phone check-ins to make sure that they're still staying connected and engaged during the stay-at-home recommendations. So we're really looking out for all the members of our community, and if anyone you know is in need of help or would like to access some of these services, we'd love to get them involved also. The farmers market has seen an upsurge in attendance. I think it's one of the few things that managed to stay open. And because they're having more foot traffic and more people attending, more vendors are coming each week with fresh and ready to eat treats for your table. The community pool was able to resume limited activities early on. And with our COVID numbers low, we've been able to reopen the playground and the skate park. But please, if you visit these facilities, face masks must be worn and make sure that you remain properly distanced from those outside your household or social bubble so that we continue to keep these recreation facilities open. I'd also like to applaud this year's Volunteer of the Year Award winners. 2 members of our community that have gone over and above in service to our community, Joe Sully and Vicki Smith. So Joe Sully, he's been around forever in town and always helping out with the Lions Club. And he really went over and above. He became the cook and cleaner and prepper for the senior lunches and provided over 1,700 meals on Mondays to our seniors from April to October. What a wonderful way to give back to our community. Vicki Smith has been working tirelessly to sew and provide masks to those in need and providing them to the local school districts, including Brisbane, Bayshore, Jefferson, and even to the Navajo Nation and to essential workers. Donations she received from thankful recipients were donated back to purchase gift cards from local businesses to support their operations. Additional proceeds have already also benefited BEST, PTO, Black Lives Matter, and LGBTQ plus charities. So well done, Joe and Vicki, for all your volunteer time and effort. Brisbane truly appreciates your dedication to others. In another success, this year's LunaFest, held virtually, was an exceptional success. Held in partnership with the City of Brisbane and the Lions Club, this event, which showcases movies for, by, and about women, raised over $24,000 for the Lions Scholarship Fund to be used for educational support for women in male-dominated fields. And we were so lucky to have the success from all of Brisbane and the sponsors that came through the chamber and through all these other fundraising events. And we're very blessed to have Madison Davis chair that event. And we look forward to another successful event next year. We've been looking to continue our support for our nonprofit community. So the Brisbane City Council has approved $10,000 in assistance to be distributed soon on a proportional basis. And the council's working on new rental assistance program to aid residents who are at risk. The details are still being worked out for this upcoming program, but we've budgeted $100,000 to help renters in our community that need help in rental assistance. One of the things that I am the most proud of is the way our community has been able to come together peacefully to rally and to raise the Black Lives Matter flag in our community park. I see it as a way for us to raise awareness of the social and racial biases that we may not even know we have, to come together and have a dialogue, engage in difficult conversations, and change our outlook on the injustice and inequality that needs to be addressed. I want to recognize all the members of Brisbane Police and Fire Departments for the ongoing safety of our community and for all the work that staff does on a day-to-day basis. Our citizens rely on all the work that you do every day. So thank you. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for Veterans Day, Brisbane will hold our now 5-year tradition of honoring veterans with a special flag raising event. This event will be live streamed on Facebook as well as on YouTube and Channel 27. We hope you will join us for this virtual event. Next weekend is our annual yard waste cleanup event with special green waste dumpsters provided by South San Francisco Scavenger that are placed around town to allow all of Brisbane to clean up and get ready for the winter storms that we hope are coming. We need the rain. Now my fingers aren't working well. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. And thank you, and a big thank you to tonight's sponsor, South San Francisco Scavenger. Staff and I will be here for a few minutes. If anyone has a question, please use the chat or raise hand feature so we know to unmute you. And thank you so much for attending tonight. So I will ask staff if there are any members of the public who wish to ask a question.
I have not received any chat questions or any hands raised in the meeting at the moment.
Okay. Well, I hope we had at least a few viewers tonight.
We have Michelle Salmon. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Michelle.
Hi, this is Michelle Salmon. I just really want to echo Terry's thanks to our amazing staff. Our police department has done a superb job of really helping the community deal with this very difficult time. And I'm so proud of them. And I really want to thank Stuart for his financial acumen and forward thinking that keeps us financially secure, and the rest of the city staff and the council who work so hard and do not get the praise that they deserve. Sometimes we're really quick to criticize because we see something that we don't like or there's some injustice. But I really want to express, sorry, I feel emotional right now, but I really want to express how grateful I am to live in Brisbane. It really is a truly amazing place. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Michelle. We all feel your passion. Are there any other members of the public who'd like to ask a question or make a comment?
Someone made a comment saying they don't have a question, but just my profound expression of thanks to you all for your excellent service to our community. Thank you.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful note to end it on. And I want to thank staff and Chief Macias and Financial Director Sillinger for helping me get through this virtual event. So thank you all and have a lovely evening. Stay safe.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connell.
Thank you.